All right, we're doing Boomer Yells at Cloud content because of course we are. I want to talk about Magic, where the story's gone, or where really the story has disappeared to, is maybe a better way to put it, while we crack some packs out of a set that I have very mixed feelings about, but mechanically I really love. So we're gonna be cracking a March of the Machine bundle. It was on clearance at a shop near me and I was like, fuck it, why not? And March of the Machine is a set that story-wise I really dislike, but mechanically I think is really good. And I think that's a good way to sum up how I feel about Magic in general at the moment, is that mechanically, I think Magic is doing some of the most interesting things the game has ever seen. Thematically, narratively, significantly less. But for some context, oh, that is got a little paper insert of Elspeth. I don't particularly care for this art, but I like Elishnorn's reflection in the sword. And we got a little multiversal. I don't know half these planes. I mean, Dominaria. Is that meant to be Ixalan? Yeah, I think that's meant to be New Phyrexia. And then Kaladesh / Avishkar? I think that's what they've renamed it to. I can't remember. Strixhaven, I guess. And then I think that's meant to be New Capenna. Okay, so I actually know, well, never mind. On paper, this set is the exact sort of thing that would be thoroughly enjoyable to me. Nice, big, chunky. Actually, I really like this dice. I hope that is in focus on the camera. Is it in focus? Because it's this big climactic story, it does have a bunch of big players, a bunch of storylines coming together. My mic keeps falling, so I might just have that sitting somewhere. Bunch of big players, bunch of storylines coming together. Had the whole Dominaria United Phyrexia stuff, and ooh. Sure, the plastic, all right. Yeah, Delta and Maverick is the pack promo. That's a fun one. I am building a dinosaur deck, but not in these colors, so that's not gonna go anywhere. So there are things that I did like about this arc of Magic's story, particularly going from when we reintroduced Foreign Klex. I was gonna say Kaladesh, but no, it's the other K one, Kaldheim, which was before I got back into Magic. I had taken a big break. You've been on this story for a little while. But then Magic's kind of just stopped doing stories. Like there is story since then. But it just seems so unimportant to the rest of the set that it's just like, what's the point? Why should I care? And Seal from Existence is a nice one. A lot of double-faced cards, and I think you get a battle in every pack, which is cool. Because I've not actually seen any battles in paper. No one fucking plays them. Let's have a look at, ooh, that's the bonus sheet, but we'll look at that in a sec. Invasion of Kylum. When it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures get +2/+0 and gain vigilance and haste until end of turn. Neat. And what does it turn into? Valor's Reach Tag Team. Oh, it's a sorcery, okay. Create 2/3, yeah, okay. I can kind of understand why I wasn't familiar with this one, but that's kind of cool. I do love a lot of the bonus sheet stuff in this. This is actually kind of cool. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life, which is a little bit unusual in Golgari colors. And then 1 mana, sacrifice another creature, gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the other creature's power, which is alright. Ooh. Got a companion. I don't know if this is worth a whole lot, but that showcase is gorgeous. Halo Charge Scarb. Nothing too interesting. Double-sided token. I don't know how I feel about opening. Oh, I missed a card. That's why. Okay, so there's 2 bonus slots, and then there is a rare. I was going to be like, I don't know if I want my 1 rare of the pack to be a bonus sheet rare. That would be kind of annoying. Backup 1, trample. Whenever this does, blah, 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 look at that many cards on top of your library. You may reveal a creature or land from among them and put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom. That's kind of cool. That might go in my humans deck. But as I was saying, so we've had this loose overarching story. There's been elements of it, but I think it's only really kicked into gear with Dominaria United onwards. And even then, it's pretty story light. And this is coming from, when I was first playing Magic, Ixalan had just come out, and I loved Ixalan, mostly for the aesthetic of it, but I started playing just before Ixalan came out, and the relevant block then, and that's one thing that we're missing is blocks these days, was the Hour of Devastation block in Amonkhet, and I loved that whole arc, which led up to like War of the Spark, and I think that's what this set was meant to be. March of the Machine was meant to be another War of the Spark, but we didn't really build up to that, and especially because there was so much build up leading up to War of the Spark. Botanical Brawler's a banger. That it felt big. There were stakes. It was important. But now it's like, well, okay, we've got March of the Machine. Realistically, it's been, what, 3 sets? Dominaria United, then Brothers War, then All Will Be One, and then March of the Machine. So there's not been that much build up to it, which doesn't feel great. That's not ideal. What's on the other side of this one? Nothing too interesting. Okay, another battle. So I do think it is 1 in every pack. Deals 4 damage to another target battle or opponent and 1 damage up to 1 target creature, which then transforms into... Is it Disciples or Disciples? I've heard both. Commander slot. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, draw a card. Whenever another player attacks with 2 or more creatures, they draw a card if none of those creatures attack you. That's a fun one. Ingarunize, which I already have. I don't have this treatment over. That's kind of cool. I don't think it's a very good card though. Rampaging Raptor, fucking banger card. I love Rampaging Raptor. Tangle Skyline, I'm not familiar with this one. Oh, it's just another one of the Phyrexian ones. Gain 5 life and incubate 5, and Phyrexians you control have reach, and then an incubator token and a Phyrexian. How perfect to have that in the pack. Yeah, so we had this very short build up, and then the resolution really meant to be in like 1 and I guess Aftermath a half sets. I have mixed feelings about Aftermath because mechanically I like a lot of the cards in there, but oh, nice little foil planes. Mirren Bane Splitter. It felt like such a small set that it was like, why is this its own thing? It should have been a bonus sheet, especially then with Thunder Junction then having the 2 bonus sheets, which I guess this already has. It's got the, I can't remember what it's called, the multiverse one, and then the commander sheet. And then Thunder Junction had the multiverse one, the like, one that's got like the bank vault symbol, and then the other one that's got like the different vault symbol. So there were 2 bonus sheets, which people were complaining about, so maybe not ideal. Render a Nerd is a cool one. Kenra Spell Spear, I've been playing this in Standard. That transforms into Gitaxian Spellstalker. Yeah, Trample, Ward 2, and then double Prowess, which is fun. But yeah, we just didn't really... Let's go on uncommon and then back to common. That's weird. Invasion of Elgrotha. When it enters the battlefield, deals 3 damage to any other target and you gain 3 life. Yeah, that's not too interesting. Rafts were the last award. I have this one already. Yeah, this is one. So there's that bonus sheet, and then yo, okay, big fucking pool. I love the ink swash. I don't know what to call it, but this style that they were doing in 1 as well. Oh, that's so cool. That's going to the side. We can. Oh, and an Invasion of New Phyrexia. That's also a fucking banger. That's a banger pack. Oh, that's very cool. That's very, very cool. Oh, and the list. I'm so sad that they killed off the list. I haven't seen this one before. What is this? Unmask. You may remove a black card in your hand from the game instead of paying Unmask's cost. Look at target player's hand and choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. That's kind of cool. I don't think it's very good. But having free, I guess kind of free, you could, I was gonna say exile a land from your hand, but lands aren't colored. So your swamp wouldn't be a black card. But if you've got like, yeah, some junk in your hand that you just need to get rid of. I'm trying to remember where I was. I haven't taken my meds today. I love the full art lands in this and Phyrexia. I think they're so fucking cool. Yeah, my brain's super thrown off by pulling Sheoldred. That's super, super, super cool. Brain, okay, where was I? Yeah, so we really didn't have that much to go off of story-wise to build it up, especially because Wizards gives a lot less of a shit about the story these days than back when I had started playing. Even then, it wasn't as good as the early days where they were doing books and stuff. That was before I started playing, so I can't speak to that personally. Hideous Flesh Wheeler. That's kind of cool. What's this? Invasion of Kaladesh. Create a 1/1 Thopter and then transform into, got another battle next. Aetherwing, Golden Scale Flagship. Power equal to number of artifacts you control. Invasion of Zendikar, that's the fetch lands one. And turns into Awakened Skyclave, that's one of my favorites. Daxos, Blessed by Sun, I do already have this one, but not on this tree. I love the constellation treatment, that is cool. Bolbarigmus and Fibblefip, I don't know how to pronounce that. When they enter or attack, draw a card, then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard one more lands, this way Bolbarigmus and Fibblefip deals twice that damage to target creature. That's kind of cool. Pop that to the side. Ooh, Zur. That's fucking cool. And foil as well. The foils in this set are really clean. They're really even. Like almost glossy. At least so far, they've been like almost glossy. Whenever creature power 2 less enters control, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of combat, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature, where X is the number of experience counters you have. That's cool. That is very cool. Yeah, so it just feels like, especially since then, I enjoyed the new Phyrexia story. What we got of it, anyway. But now that we're past that, and we're in the new era, the new chapter of Magic story, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of story. Like, there's not a whole lot of connection between, you know, Thunder Junction and Duskmourn and what's the new one? Aether Drift. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of that overlapping. They all feel very, very separate, which I don't have the biggest complaint about, because I particularly really like Duskmourn mechanically, and aside from the couple of outliers, like, yes, I get why people don't like the cheerleader card. I think it's a pretty good set. Invasion of Asgol. When it enters, target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and then loses 1 life, and then turns into Ashen Reaper. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on it if a permanent was put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn. I think this is before we keyworded Descend. Oh yeah, that's another one. Like, I love the original Ixalan, and I did enjoy Caverns of Ixalan. But again, it didn't really feel connected to anything, which, to be fair, I will say the original Ixalan also didn't really feel connected to anything. But we got a whole block of it instead of just, you know, one and done. And I think block standard was something I miss a lot, or block constructed. For 1/1 blue, instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast an ability that counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That is pretty cool. With the Kaladesh border on it as well. Very Mastermind, also a very cool card. Ooh, and that's also in foil. Renata, Call to Hunt. Power equal to devotion to green. Each other creature you control on the battlefield, and just with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. I've got a bunch of +1/+1 counter stuff coming together. That's my big gripe. It's like, as much as I think one of the big things I can say for Magic is that mechanically, I think it's in very good state, particularly standard. I mostly play standard. But narratively, I think it's in the worst spot it's been for as long as I've given a shit about Magic. And I think that's being made worse by half of this year's sets being Universes Beyond. We're getting less story per set, and then we're also getting less in-universe sets per year. So we're just getting less of Magic the Gathering overall. At the time of recording, the Spider-Man spoilers, or the first Spider-Man spoilers, came out a couple of days ago. And I don't dislike them. I don't particularly care for them. Maybe that's its own video. I was commenting on Pleasant Kenobi's video talking about it because I think valid point. Green Goblin isn't really a goblin. Weird creature typing. All round, I just thought the cards were a bit of a weird choice to first show off, but it is what it is. Shalai and Halar, I'm not seeing this one. Flying Vigilance, whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, Shalai and Halar deals that much damage to target opponent. That's more counter synergy. And then Agar, Freezing Frame in the Kaldheim border. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess damage, if a giant, wizard, or spell you control dealt damage to it this turn, draw a card. Cool. Drana and Limvala, ooh. I haven't actually seen this treatment of it. Flying Vigilance. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated, and Drana and Limvala has all activated abilities of creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as if it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. Cool. And then Echo Shape. Ooh, and another list. I miss the list, man. Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature, as long as it is green, it gets +1/+1 and indestructible. As long as it is white, it gets +1/+1 and flying. But yeah, so I guess that kind of sums up my point. We're getting less Magic story per set, and we're getting less Magic universe sets per year. So we're just getting less Magic per Magic, if that makes sense. And I don't love that. I don't love having less of the game that I'm looking forward to playing, the one that I care about, the setting that I enjoy. I didn't mind having Universes Beyond as supplemental stuff, you know, having the Warhammer Commander precons, which I actually really wanted to grab, but they were just too expensive. The Doctor Who stuff, which even though I didn't particularly care for the aesthetics of that set, I do really like Doctor Who, and I did want to consider picking things up. Another Invasion of Ogrotha, I've got that already. Invasion of Tarkir, oh man, this is one of my favorites to play in Standard. When it enters the battlefield, reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, it deals X +2 damage to any other target, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. And then turns into, very cool, Defiant Thundermaw. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. Really strong. A lot of fun. I don't know if it's that strong, but it's a lot of fun. Damn, I was hoping another one from the list. Hopefully we get another one from the list in this last pack. Another big crack, though I think we've done pretty well. But yeah, as much as I enjoyed the Lord of the Rings set, I think that being an entire set, particularly an entire modern legal set, and then it going on to be Magic's best-selling set of all time, I think that's set a dangerous precedent that's led us to where we are now. And I like the Lord of the Rings set, but that's because it feels fantasy adjacent. It feels close enough to regular Magic that maybe, just maybe, it didn't feel that out of place. Like seeing Lord of the Rings cards alongside, you know, some other stuff, regular Magic stuff in someone's commander deck isn't going to feel that out of place, or even in a modern deck. But Spider-Man and Final Fantasy going into Standard is where it's like, I'm not too big a fan of that. Because the truth is I'm not. I don't particularly care for, as much as I love Spider-Man. Editor Josh, put a clip of me in the Spidey suit. I'm not that keen on the way that Magic is going at the moment. I don't particularly want Brooklyn taxi cabs in my Magic. That's actually kind of cool. I was going to build an equipment deck, and that might be a very good commander for it. Another one from the list, Risen Reef. Whenever this or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top part of your library. If it's a land, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. That's cool. If you don't put the card into the battlefield, you put it into your hand. Well, that is the end of that, but I think, particularly these three, I don't think Bulbarigmus is worth a whole lot, but I think that's a pretty big pull. Probably pays off the box, which is nice. Don't do this is gambling. I did this for fun. Anyway, how do you feel about the state of Magic at the moment? As much as I'm complaining, I did say earlier that I think mechanically Magic is in the best place it has ever been. And I don't think Spider-Man or Final Fantasy is gonna be an exception to that. I don't particularly want those characters in my standard deck. Final Fantasy to me is like Lord of the Rings, it's riding the line a little bit. It's on the edge of being a little too far away from what I expect out of Magic. Lord of the Rings was like pretty good with like just fantasy. Warhammer was riding the line for me as well. Doctor Who was definitely crossing the line. But Spider-Man is, it's just on the other side of that line of it just feels like it's crossing into a different realm. That's not what I expect out of Magic. But anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out. I do stream Magic on Twitch if you're not here from there, which is probably a little bit surprising. But yeah, adios. I'll see you later.